Okay, so we've done intro, lying down, toed position. Now we're going to do standing set for hormonal balancing. And there's several different movements, but for this teachings, we're going to keep it simple. Some are a little bit more unusual and a little bit way out there, so I don't want to go too crazy with this, but this is one you wouldn't do standing at the bus stop because you get strange looks, okay? But we begin with my hands in the lower dantian position. So I'm in my classic Wuji posture. For those of you teaching Qi Gong or learning to teach Qi Gong with me, that's you're effectively allowing the pelvis to roll underneath and the sacrum to come under. You're creating a structural alignment which allows energy or your blood flow to be more efficient, and for your breath to be more efficient. And then we're also grounding ourselves. And this is the grounding element, is that idea of the spleen, the stomach descending. Spleen likes to ascend, stomach likes to descend. So we're creating this idea of being seated in the ground. Again, my hands are in the lower dantian. This is the area for nourishing our essence. And then what I'm going to do, because I want to release heat out of the body, help purge those hot flushes, I'm going to bring my hands in onto the spleen meridian that runs here, with the stomach meridian here, and spleen is more medial, kind of into the groin area. This is one where we begin to do shaking, and then we do this motion. And as you can see, this is not what you do at the bus stop for fear of being given strange looks. But you're definitely in private. What you're doing is you're doing a kind of a friction massage, warming up this area while shaking. And this time I'm using my mouth. You can do this with your nose, but depending on your sinus, any sinus issues, you need to be careful, okay? So I'm breathing in very fast and breathing out like a pant. And if you think about what a dog will do to cool itself down, it will pant. For us, we tend to generate heat this way, but we're taking control of the heat, not allowing the body to just randomly create heat. From here, we go to the sides on the gallbladder meridian and do the same thing. Now the shake is not this. It has to be coordinated so that your center has to move. Here. And then after 2 minutes of that, we take the back of our knuckles and we do the same thing, but we massage into the buttocks. Kind of looks a bit strange, but our sacrum, if we look at Ayurvedic medicine, the sacrum is the sacred bone. It's the second chakra. It's part of our sexuality. It's our creativity. It's where fire brews up from the roots. So we want to nourish all that area. And I've noticed women, when they get burnt out, they lose gluteal strength. So if you're a therapist or an athlete or working with people's bodies, you'll know the women that are burnt out because they have no tone in the buttocks. So they're losing adrenal strength. So we want to get in there and massage and get that nice and working, nice and strong. Wake it up. And also you're stimulating this Jing, which is part of the liver, the wood energy, the raw sexual energy, helps with lowered libido. Then from here, so this is kind of your warm-up, So once we've done maybe 2 minutes of this, we'll then move into the water movement. Now, typically the water Qigong we've done for stress and the central nervous system, but we're going to do this a slightly different way. So what we're going to do is this movement, sitting and pulling in. We're going to come around the hips, sitting, pulling in, sitting, and we're going to imagine we're spreading water around the pelvis. The movement is coordinated. So I wait for the pelvis to sink. It has to sink first. Breathing in, hands follow. Breathing out. And the secret with the movement is to sink, not to go over the knees. You're going to hurt yourself. Not to stick your bum out. I don't want to see this. This is like a duck movement. We want sinking, rising. Okay? So you have to ask your pelvis. Pelvis, drop, hands follow. Pelvis rise, hands follow. Pelvis sink, hands follow. Pelvis rise, hands follow. So you always want this communication from here to here for this to be a coordinated sequence of Qigong. Otherwise, it becomes like this. Can you see the difference? It's the same movement, but not mindful. It's mechanical. What we want is pelvis sinks, breathe. And I'll repeat this 9 times. We're going to come back to the center. And that completes stage 2 of hormonal balancing. Thank you.